Hello and welcome to the annual Hoops and Dreams special podcast taking a look at the new QPR kits. This time it's ahead of 2023-24. Who doesn't get excited when the new kits are going to be released? We're going to be showing you the kits, sharing our thoughts and rating the kits out of 10. And of course, do comment yourselves with your ratings and get on our QPR forum and share your views on the kits. I'm James and I'm joined by Dave and Frankie who are going to analyse this year's efforts. Thank you guys for coming on.
That's all right, no problem.
So a bit of context before we start. This is our 7th season with Area supplying the kits, and for the most part, you'd have to think or have to say they've been doing a good job, especially when they now have to get kits out year after year. The last 2 seasons in particular have been lovely kits that have sold really well, especially the away kits. I know a lot of people romanticize about us having Adidas kits and things like that, but you only have to look at Celtic's kits this year to realise that we're far better off with Area than we would be with Adidas. So let's see how they've done for 2023-24. Take a look at the home shirt first. So we've got a round neck design, lots of red details with red lines between the blue and white hoops. For the first time in decades, we've got a red QPR crest on the kits. Frankie, you were at the launch. What were your first impressions when you saw this one come out?
At first, I wasn't expecting to see red as like the badge. That came as a complete shock. I was expecting red pinstripes. Looking at like the social graphics that have been put up by the club where they've updated from last seasons, looking at other things with people saying it, I just expected there to be pinstripes, but I didn't expect it to be based on the kit 40 years ago. I'm definitely a fan. It's going to be something what I don't think many people are going to get used to. I sent it to a few other graphic designers and they were like, oh, it's not doing it for me. It doesn't feel like a QPR kit. But they're not QPR fans to know how a QPR kit's going to feel to a QPR fan. At first glance, it doesn't feel like it's right. But at the same time, there's only so much you can do to a home shirt until it is just the same thing every time, or you ruin it. So even if it is just a season, which it most likely will be, I'm happy to have a red badge. It's something different. It's something what stands out. And although it's definitely hit or miss, I'm a fan of it. As regards to the collar, I'm much more of a fan of a round collar than a V-neck. But I understand where like a V-neck, some people can prefer it. But I'm definitely a big fan of how the collar looks this year, 100%.
Dave, you're wearing the shirt there that it's pretty much based upon. What were your thoughts when you saw it?
Yeah, I'm a big fan. I mean, I'm very nostalgic. So that goes back to one of the first seasons that I was going, and we had a good team as well. So it just ticks all the boxes for me. I think can't remember many other times we've had the red badge other than that season. So it's right, it's 40 years since that one, I think they were saying. But yeah, I really liked it. I think as a one-off season, I think it'll work really well. I'm a big fan of it. Like you say, we've got to try and make subtle changes each year, otherwise it kind of gets a bit samey. So it was a big hit for me.
Yeah, I mean, last season we had no third colour. It was just blue and white. So this season it's now a very dominant third colour. But like you both say, they've got to try something different. Otherwise, they've got to be making a rod for their own back. My personal thing is I'm just not a fan of the round neck style. I'm the opposite to you, Frankie. But again, no one's ever going to agree on kits. I prefer a collar or a V-neck. So that's the only disappointment for me. But I do like all the details, the little red and white lines on the end here. They obviously come up with some really lovely designs in that effort. And because it's obviously trying to emulate the kit from 40 years ago, you've got to give them some praise for that. It does look almost identical. I think the only difference, arguably, if you looked at them quickly, is the fact that the old one did have the overlapping V-neck, and this one's got a round neck. The shorts and socks are nice as well, aren't they, with the red and blue lines on them?
I think the stock logos are also red instead of being blue like they normally are. So like the Error or like the QPR, I don't remember which one's on it, but whichever like Error, QPR, whatever it says, that's also in red.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's red on the shorts as well and on the socks. So like I say, it's a very dominant third colour compared to last season when there wasn't one. The overall rating then, Frankie, out of 10 for the home kit?
I'm going to go with a 9 because it's hitting a lot of points what I like personally. I feel like I would be able to give it a 10 if it was blue badges, because that would make it the perfect QPR shirt. However, I am a big fan of the fact they are red for this season, but that also does take it down from looking like the perfect QPR kit in the modern era. So I'd give it a 9, which people are probably going to say that's too kind, but at the same time, it's hitting points what I like. The round collar, although you don't like them, that's what makes it like good to have the different opinions. But yeah, a 9. I'm definitely happy with it, and I'm there Saturday 9 o'clock to pick them up.
Dave, higher or lower than a 9?
I'm going the same 9 for me. It just ticks all the boxes for me. It just makes me think of that QPR team with Clive Allen in when we were really good. Maybe this current one might not be quite as good, but you know, it makes you remind me of that, and I really like it. I like the collar as well. Yeah, it's a 9 for me. You know.
Yeah, I'm going a little bit lower than you two. I probably would give it a 9 apart from the neck, because when I first walked in and saw it come out, and I was like, oh, I knew I probably wouldn't maybe even buy it because I just don't like that style. So I'm only going in on a 7 for it, because it's just a wonderful template they've come up with. Just the little thing like that can change how you feel about it. But let's go on to the away kit then. So the away kit in the last 5 seasons, we've always been having different colours. We've had pink, green, red, black, maroon, or fuchsia, or whatever it was last season. And the away kits have been, as I said before, highlight of recent seasons, selling out. People haven't been able to get hold of them. Let's see how this one compares. And of course, it's the return of Dennis the Menace. It's the homage to our first red and black hoop Dennis the Menace stick kit, like Dave mentioned 40 years ago. And we've got gold details, which is what makes it different. Gold details on the arms, around the neck. But unlike the home kit, there's not lines between the hoops. Dave, your thoughts on the away kit?
Yeah, I like it. I like going back to Dennis the Menace every couple of years. They shouldn't do it every year, but you know, they've left it long enough to go back to it now. I think it looks really good. Again, it's the nostalgic thing. The gold writing, it does look a bit like a Mars bar packet. That does make, I don't know if that's because I'm hungry or if it does look like a Mars bar, but it did make me think of that. But yeah, overall, I really like it. You know, I see it's good to go back to that kit. You know, every couple of years. I've liked the last few away ones they've done, but it's nice to go back to this one again.
Yeah, I think it's been 7 or 8 years since we had red and black, because they did have red and navy one year if you wanted to count that. But it's, yeah, back to 15, 16 was last time it was officially Dennis the Menace. And that didn't even have the hoops all the way around. So you have to go back 10 years for the last time we had red and black hoops all the way around. Frankie, your thoughts on it?
I am also a fan. I'm obviously much younger, but I'm not as used to having Dennis the Menace all the time. However, I understand how important it is as a club away kit. It is normally our away kit. If you look at the amount of away kits we've had, a lot of them are Dennis the Menace, black and red. I'm a big fan of the gold. We have used gold in our last 3 away jerseys, but I think in each of them it's worked, because you see this one, it's got the gold in between the hoops, which it doesn't have on this one, but has on the home shirt, like the pinstripes in between. And before that, we had the black and gold, which was, I think, our best ever shirt. But I'm definitely a big fan of it. Like you said, 15-16 was the last time we had a proper Dennis the Menace away shirt. Season before that, when we was in the Premier League, it was stripes. And even then, it wasn't on the back. And then the season before that is the season of the shirt you're wearing, James. And that was the season we went up. And I made my own prediction on it, and I thought they'd be based on that kit. So I still get what I predicted in Dennis the Menace away, but it's in a different style, and it's in a style I'm definitely a fan of. Like, it's still got the thingy collar, the one I prefer. I forgot the round collar. There we go. We got there instead of the V-neck. It's got the same pattern on the sleeve cuffs and on the collar itself. I'm just a really big fan of it. I think if it was white instead of gold, I think some people may prefer it, but I am still a fan of the gold. It's something I've got used to on our away jerseys at this point.
Yeah, I actually love the gold. We said it on last year's. I like us having gold, but I don't know whether this kit would actually look better with white details and then a white line between each hoop. I mean, you design kits, Frankie. Why do you think they've got lines between the hoops on the home and not on the away?
Seeing from pictures of the actual original kits, the original black and red did not have the pinstripes in between. So I think they've actually we're doing the home the exact same, just a little bit changed, because obviously the original badge was actually red on a blue stripe. but now it's red on a white stripe, which is definitely better. It looks better, but that's how it was back then. So they're going as close to what it originally was, but still making improvements so it visually looks better in their eyes, or like different things that make it work better in today's like how football works with all they got to have it all tight fit instead of it being loose. And look at the sleeves on this back in the day. They ain't like that no more.
No,
but,
Jimmy Dunn looked like it was painted on him, didn't he?
Yeah, exactly. But I think they've tried to go like exactly the same, but then also match them together where they work.
Yeah, you're probably right. There was no lines on the original away kit, was there? Dennis the Menace. Some people say it's what QPR should have. Some people say it gets a bit boring when they see it because pretty much everybody owns one. Do you think this one will sell as well as recent away kits because of the fact that people are going to go, yeah, really like it, but are they actually going to go out and buy it, do you think?
I think they will, because it's been a few years since the last one. You're saying it's going back to 2016. When they do it every 2 or 3 years, I think you wouldn't really bother because you've just added one recently. But it's been quite a while since this one, and it's 10 years since the Zamora promotion where we wore the red and black as well. So I think it will sell quite well. I think both are going to sell quite well. They both look really nice kits to me.
Dave, you first. What's your rating, mate?
I'm going 9 as well for this. It's all nostalgia for me. I'm back in the 80s again.
Frankie?
Because of the last 2 away shirts, which although I do love this new one, I do still prefer them. I still think the black and gold's our best ever shirt, and I don't see us topping that. I'm still a really big fan of this one, so I'm going to give it an 8, which isn't a knock to the away shirt itself. I think it's beautiful, but I think just in recent comparison, even the turquoise shirt from 1920 with Royal Panda, which then got changed to a different betting company, but that like our recent away shirts have been brilliant. So it's getting like a knockdown because of its competition. But yeah, 8.
Yeah, I agree with you. The shirt that you got behind you there, I actually think that's better than this one. I know Dennis the Menace, people see it as the traditional QPR away kit, but I've liked some of the different designs that come out in recent years. So I'm going with a 7, same as the home kit, because it's the same template. Still a very, very nice kit. It's. I can see that it is going to sell. Just for me personally, again, the neck just brings it down just a little bit. Goalkeeper kits then. I like last season's because it incorporated hoops into the design. This season, well, personally, I'm a little bit lost for words with it. Come with like bright pink, bright orange, zigzag lines. Some may like it. It's going to split the crowd. Frank, am I being harsh if I say it's one of our worst goalkeeper kits ever?
The thing is, it doesn't feel like when I saw it at first, I was a bit confused. It don't feel like a QPR goalkeeper kit. Last season, we had like pinstripe diagonal stripes going in between the hoops. And the season before that was just a black top with the yellow lines in between. Both of them were good, but I am still somewhat a fan of this one, although it's definitely not my favourite. I'm more of a fan of the pink than I am the black or the orange. I'm not a big fan of orange on kits anyways, but I can see what you mean. It's very out there, especially the pink one. You will stand out from the crowd. It'll be hard not to. Especially if you got it long sleeve, you are standing out. That's like a shirt for a rave. But I think it does its job. It's different. It stands out. It's probably more of like fun for kids to have even because it's not hoops. It's still the club you love. It's got these zigzag lines. It's different. Like it is hit or miss as well. But I don't know. I'm indifferent feeling about it.
Dave, your thoughts on those bright away goalkeeper kits?
Yeah, they were proper bright, weren't they, in the pictures? I'd like to see it on the keeper because they had the black one on in the opening and the unveiling today, didn't they? Which I thought looks okay, but it looks more like a training top than a goalkeeper's top. I thought, but they've gone for it with the colours. You don't want to be letting in 4 or 5 goals wearing that pink shirt, do you? To be honest, but they're definitely going to stand out. That's for sure.
Yeah, I thought it was a training top as well because I actually walked in when the presentation, it was up to the bit where Joe Walsh was out, sitting there, and I thought, oh, he's just got a training kit on. I didn't realise it was the goalkeeping kit. Frankie, your ratings for the goalkeeper kits?
Another thing I want to point out quickly is our home goalkeeper shirts have all featured a colour on the away shirts in the last 3 years at least. I can't remember the season before. No, the season before was that really like odd green shirt. So that one was different. But 2021, we had the black goalie. Last season, we had the navy with the navy on the away kit. This season, again, we have a black goalkeeper, home goalkeeper shirt and black on the away shirt. So I think the ideas are that we have these big, leery, out there colours, what stand out from the crowd. Although I don't see a point in having both the pink and the orange. I don't see many teams having a pink goalie home shirt and black as the away, or like where we're going to have an issue where we're playing in our black away shirt or black and red, and they've got like black, because we wouldn't do that. So I don't see then a need there to be like the third goalie shirt, especially the orange, because I'm not a fan. I'd give the pink a 6, the black a 6, and the orange a 2. I'm just not a fan of orange. That's the issue. I'm not a fan of orange.
You make a good point, about the goalie kits. I don't know why we keep going for a black. It seems to be like only favour a dark home goalkeeper kit. I just don't know why they don't just go with green. But Dave, your thoughts on those goalie kits? Your rating overall?
Yeah, I'd probably go the same. I'd go a 6. I don't like the orange one. Reminds me, we had an orange kit in the 90s. I remember us losing heavily at Chelsea in it, and that put me right off orange kits for life. But yeah, probably go a 6 as well. You kind of want to see him in it, but it was very bright and leery, and you wonder what it'd be like with this team when we're going away and having some difficult afternoons.
Yeah, I'm going low on the goalkeeper kits. They just don't do anything for me. I'm going with 3 because I think if you take the QPR kits, QPR crest off them, and another team was releasing them, I would literally be sat there going, "What the hell are they?" So, they to me, they just don't work. So yeah, I go with a 3, but they may look better on a match day. So, like I said at the start, let us know your ratings out of 10 for the kits. Will you be spending your hard-earned cash on them? We'll be back in a few weeks with a season preview. Until then, thank you for watching. Thank you for Frankie and Dave for joining me. We'll be back soon. Come on, you R's.
We know who we are. You know who we are. We are QPR.